Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to transform a photo that looks like this and turn it into this with Lightroom. So let's hop into this video. I left a link in the description below so you can download this sample image in case you guys want to follow along with me. You can use Lightroom mobile on your phone or you can use Lightroom on your system. So let's just start this edit. So for exposure, well, I took this picture on my phone, so the exposure is pretty good, but I'm just going to increase the exposure by like 0.32, 353230. It's fine. Okay, contrast, I'm going to skip contrast. For the highlights, I'm going to take it up to 25. For the shadows, I'm taking it up to 42. Okay, now for the whites, I'm taking the whites down to -15. And for the blacks, I'm taking the blacks down to -20. Okay, now let's move down. We have the texture, clarity, dehaze. I'm not touching texture, but for the clarity, let's take it up to 16. Okay, now for the saturation, let's take it down to -20. -20. Then the vibrance, let's take it down to -10. I forgot to mention, let's scroll back up where we have the temperature and the tint. So let's take the temperature to 9. Okay, good. Alright, so let's move down to the tone curve. In fact, the main meat or the main part of this edit is in the tone curve, so I'm going to work on it at the end. So if you want to know how we transform this photo from this to this, then watch till the end. So let's skip the tone curve, let's move to the colors. There's no red in this image, so I'll just leave it where it is. Let's move to orange. So for orange, I'm moving the saturation to 20. And for the luminance, I'm taking it up to 20 also. Okay. Okay, now let's move to yellow. So for the hue, I'm taking it down to -50. Okay. Then for the saturation, -18. And the luminance, -20. Okay. Now let's move to green. So for green, I'm taking the hue down to -80. Okay. Then for the saturation, I'm taking it down to -21. Okay. Then for the luminance, I'm taking it down to -20. Okay. Now let's move to aqua. So for aqua, I'm taking the hue to 23. Okay. Now for saturation, I'm taking it down to -34. And for the luminance, I'm taking it down to -20. Okay, let's move to blue. Now for blue, I'm taking the hue to 29, -29. I'm taking the saturation to -20. And I'm taking the luminance to 16. Okay. Now let's move to split toning. So we're just going to adjust the colors of the shadows and the highlights in this picture. So for the highlights, let's take the hue to 26. And let's take the saturation to around 12. Okay, let me adjust this back to 26. Okay, now for the shadows, we are going to take the hue to 17 and the saturation to 7. So for hue, saturation is 7, and and the hue is 17. So let's go to 17 and we are done. Okay, now let's move to vignette. Let's add a little bit of vignette in this image. Let's take it to -10. -10, okay. Now before I land on this tone curve, make sure you like this video, you subscribe, you comment if you find this video informative or helpful, and make sure you also share with your friends. So let's continue. So for the tone curve, I'm going to drag the shadows up here. I'm going to make another point here for the blacks. I'm going to bring it down close to the level of the shadows. Then I'm going to take the midtones and I'm going to drag it just around here. Let's look at the other image. Okay, just around here. Okay. I think something is wrong with the blues. What, the blues look purple here. Something is off. Oh, okay, I made a mistake. Okay, let's move the blues to -29 instead of 29. Let's move the blues to -29. I noticed that the image was looking purple and that was strange. So, okay, so now we're done with the tone curve. Let's see the before and after of the whole image. This is before and this is after. So you can see in this image that the water is colorful, the river is colorful. So we're going to paint the river. So let's click on the brush tool. But in fact, before we do that, let's click on the healing tool to remove all the dirt in the picture. All these little sticks, let's remove them with the healing brush. I'm going to increase the feather there. And I'm not going to be too perfect with this because I'm trying to be fast, but you can take your time and remove all these little pieces of dirt and wood in the water. So the next thing that we're going to do is paint the river. So I'm going to click on the brush tool here and I'm going to move my temperature to -52 and I'm going to move my tint to 14. Okay, then saturation, I'm going to take it down to -69. -69. Let's go. -69. Okay, now I'm going to come down here and select the actual tint or shade of blue that I want. So for the hue, I'm going to take it up to 184. 184. Okay, then I'm going to take the saturation down to 50%. And once that is done, we can start painting over the river. So let's start. So I'm not going to be too perfect with this painting. Make sure you don't paint on buildings or rocks or anything like that, and even if you do, you can easily erase it, but be careful. So I'm just going to rush through this. And when you're painting water, one thing that you should try and avoid is painting the horizon with the water, like mixing them up together. So as I'm painting the horizon here, I'm going to try and make sure that I don't accidentally paint buildings on the other side of the river. I'm going to be very careful on that line. Make sure you take your time. And you guys are using Lightroom Mobile, you need to even be more careful with it because you're using your finger to paint this. So you have to try and be more careful and accurate with the painting. So this is pretty good, and the next thing I'm going to do is just paint on the reflections of the building to make them stand out more. So I'm just going to paint over them and increase the clarity. So I'm going to make a new brush. Okay, so now I'm just going to swipe over them here and then increase the clarity by about 53. So now I'm just going to paint over the reflections just to make them stand out a bit more, and we're done. So let's look at the before and after. So this is before and this is after. Before and after, before and after. So let's look at the initial image that we're trying to recreate. I mean, I came pretty close. I tried. So we've come to the end of today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share with other people to support my channel. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Daniel_Are. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.